Okay, I think we'll call this meeting to order. That one is right on the money now, okay? Welcome to the Addison Township Board meeting. Today is December 19th, 2016. If we could stand for the pledge, please. And our veteran is Joel here. Oh, wait, we have Gino too. Gino, and yeah, older veteran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just keep standing for just one moment, please.
Almighty God, who has given us this good land for our heritage, we humbly beseech thee that we may always prove ourselves to be a people mindful of thy favor and glad to do thy will. Bless our land with honorable ministry, sound learning, and pure manners. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil way. Defend our liberties and fashion into one united people. That's a speech by President Thomas Jefferson, 1801. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Okay, well, welcome to the meeting. Meeting being held at the Addison Township offices, 1440 Rochester Road. Once again, it is December 19th, and it is 6 o'clock. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes. Erickson.
Here.
Linda Garrett.
Present.
Joe King.
Here.
Jacob Newby.
Here.
Lori Fisher.
Here.
Bennett present. Supervisor Pearson.
Here, all accounted for. Okay, any announcements?
No.
Any petitions?
No.
Department reports. I think there was a financial report in there I think everybody looked at. Approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any questions? Not hearing any. Could we have roll call, please?
Joe King.
Aye.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, the consent agenda.
Yes, before the board this evening is the November 21st, 2016 minutes. Bills as paid for November 2016. Appointment to the Board of Review, 2-year term, effective January 1st through December 31st, 2018. Gene Malaya Jr. Clinton River watershed dues, $500.
Okay, any questions on that? No questions? How about a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
If there's no further discussion, could I have roll call on that, please?
Yes, Jacob Newby.
Aye.
Erickson.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Joe King.
Aye.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, move on to item number 2, with the Lakeville Cemetery Auxiliary requests approval for $1,000 from 101-276-931 for the placement of a decorative windmill from Pottery Land at the Lakeville Cemetery. As you know, the Cemetery Auxiliary is the one that is responsible for our beautiful Lakeville Cemetery, and they do all the planting of the flowers and the special events for the veterans, and they also had the foresight of putting the gazebo in and different things. We also have a sprinkling system in. Anyways, our cemetery is a beautiful cemetery because of them. They have asked that we consider spending some money on a decorative windmill. Gino, did you want to talk about that at all? Oh, Marlene did. Okay. Okay.
My name is Marlene Flushing Malia, and I am president of the Lakeville Cemetery Auxiliary. When I asked to get put on this agenda, this windmill was on my bucket list. When I was a small kid, my mother would take me to the cemetery every Memorial Day to put flowers. And right by my grandmother's grave was this area, and it was left open, and they had 4 little things around. Well, not really, they're big. And And I said, no, what was, something must have been here. And she said, well, yes, dear, that was the well. We had a windmill down here, a big windmill. And that's what provided water for the Lakeville Cemetery. Well, I've thought about this for a very long time, 20 years to be exact. We have some new members. You'll be happy to know when I was over in there young. That's the best part. And when I told them about the windmill, they all agreed that this would be a good thing. We start saving our money, just like we did for the gazebo. In the meantime, one of our young ladies got on her computer, and all of a sudden she was on the phone and she was talking to several persons who provided windmills, decorative, not working windmills. That was wonderful, but we've got to do something to raise some money. Well, we'll start doing that, but first I have to go to the Township Board and ask their permission to put a windmill in that cemetery. As you go in the driveway, it's an area on the left-hand side in the old part, about in the middle. And we would like to put this decorative windmill in that spot. Did you make copies for everyone? Good. So, in the meantime, within the last couple of weeks, the cemetery has had a stipend given to them. And we no longer have to ask you for the money, because we have enough money to put that windmill up. We just need your permission to do it. And so I guess that's what I'm here for, Bruce, to ask for permission to put that windmill up. It'll be, the company that we've chosen was, we got 3 bids, will maintain this windmill also. So I think it'll be an asset to our cemetery. All we gotta do now is get the roads fixed. It'll be all set.
Can I just ask you, how tall will it be?
30 feet.
Be 30 feet. Are they installing it? Because, you know, those platforms have to be cemented in.
This is going in where the original windmill was. And it's all marked out. Jim Woon
He put a plaque there.
went out there and he, I can't think of the word now, inspected it all and found out where all the old parts were and where everything was. And it's all marked out. It says site of old windmill, where just to the left as you go in. So it will be there on the same site. In fact, there's a manhole there where you can still go down into where the working parts were, you know, for the water and stuff.
I mean, do they, the only reason I ask is because I have one of these, and, you know, I put it in the way they said, and of course, the wind almost knocked it over, so then we ended up cementing big pillars into it to support it. Is that what they're
Yes.
gonna do for the
Yes.
installation?
Yes.
Is actually put some cement in there so that it's not a liability?
Right.
Because what I'm afraid of is falling over on somebody, or,
I think on the paper she gave you, you might see the installation on it somewhere. Okay?
It's
in
showing that
there.
he's gonna install, but Marlene mentioned something about maintenance, so they're gonna come out. What's the maintenance involved?
Oh, you know, you gotta grease them every once in a while up there and stuff like that.
So he'll come out and check it on occasion
Yes.
to make sure everything's in working order?
Absolutely. Yeah.
hey, does the board have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. When you mentioned about how it's anchored and possibility of falling over, it's a liability. So the question is, what kind of insurance does the cemetery have?
It's under.
Or is it-
It's under your liability, I
Oh,
believe.
it's our liability.
Yes.
I think
Oh.
those have footing inspections, don't they? Doesn't the building inspector look at that when they put them in ground?
Well, originally what these come with is these big stakes that they pound them into the ground, but that's not sufficient. These need to be actually put in cement and then bolted or something, because
From what I understand, Bruce, they're gonna put cement in, and then they anchor them into the ground and pour cement into that hole. There's 4.
Okay.
And they pour cement into them and anchor them down that way. I guess they gotta go down below the frost line,
42 inches.
42.
Do you know if this has a brake on it? Because the one I have has a brake. If it gets to going too fast, it automatically brakes.
You know, I don't know that. I could ask that question.
That's the only thing I worry about, because they get going too fast and they disintegrate.
Fly off.
Where if they have a brake, which I'm thinking it does,
This
because,
company
A
that
lot
we're
of
getting
them,
this from,
they truly don't feather like a prop, but it's set up so it'll turn sideways into the wind when the wind gets too
Right.
high. As a,
the good thing about this one we're getting from Pottery Land, they're right close by, so we can get a hold of them whenever we need them. You know, that's why they said, you know, the maintenance on it, anytime we need them, we can grab them. And they're right in Sterling Heights, I think. Sterling Heights.
Now, another question, the location, is it near a walkway? Is it near?
No.
Is it isolated where there's no traffic around it?
Right, it's right in the middle of the cemetery, right in where
Okay,
stones are, you know.
yeah, I've never been in the cemetery.
Oh, you should go
Someday I
sometime.
will, but not yet.
You want to take it there?
That's supposed to be funny. But anyhow, yeah, so it is in a,
Yeah,
away from the main traffic, so
Right.
to speak.
yes.
It has to be because there are grave sites surrounding it,
Okay,
okay? So we had to make sure that it was a ways back from those grave sites. They're old, most of those grave sites are over 100 years old, however. Out of respect to persons, we wanted to make sure that this did not interfere with anyone's grave site.
well, that's good. Yeah, I guess in summary, that's the only question I have is the liability.
I just read on here that it doesn't have a brake, but is designed when the wind picks up to turn and diffuse the rotation. So I see that it already has a way of slowing itself down. Does anybody else have any questions?
Our township ordinance is very, how would you say, restrictive as far as what we can put in the cemetery. So I think if we go forward, I think the motion should also include possibly that it's replacing the original site and it's more of a historic marker so that the township in itself can still say, no, somebody else can't be putting in the same thing somewhere else. Because we only want one at the historic site.
Our total cost for this windmill would be $1,850.
Plus installation.
No, that's with the installation.
Is it? I thought there was a $500 installation.
Gene, you're right again.
I know.
hate it.
That's twice.
I know.
But we only need to approve the placement now, right? We just want the placement.
Okay, what would this board's pleasure be?
$2,350 with the installation.
Oh, okay.
that's out of their funding.
It's their
Right.
funds.
There's no action for funding. This is, would be a motion to approve the replacement of the windmill as a decorative item in the historical site.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any further discussion?
Is this in the sight line of any homes or anything?
Have any what?
Of any homes?
No.
Okay, I mean, I'm thinking it's pretty secluded where it's at.
Yep.
There are homes around the cemetery, there are. The closest one would be across, never mind, I do this all the time. On Grainer Road, Grainer Road winds around the cemetery, and there's those houses, 3 or 4 across the road. That would be the closest ones to the windmill.
There's quite a few large trees that would screen it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty, been built, a lot of larger trees.
Okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, can we have roll call on that, please? I want roll call because,
Okay. Jacob Newby. Aye. Joe King.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Eric Sen.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
yes, that passes. Congratulations, and you'll have that up later tonight?
No, not till spring.
We have electricity out there, and we can get you some lights.
We
Okay.
have worked out there in the winter before. I'm getting too old. Well, somebody else will.
Gino's not, though. He can do it.
What?
That's right.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, authorization to proceed with the application and the cell tower lease negotiation with Verizon. As you know, I announced that Verizon is negotiating with us, and I've turned this over to Mr. Davis, our attorney. The site is, of course, up by Oakwood and Hosner. It's a complete dead area, and Verizon has advised us that that area needs a cell tower, and they would like to put it on township property up there. And as for the funding, I want everybody to know that it will go into the general fund to be used for other projects within the township. So that money goes back to the people to be used for things in this township. Before I open this up, what I'm looking for is a motion to authorize me to sign all the required applications and to authorize me to sign the agreement contingent upon the legal approval and the approvals received from the ZBA and the Planning Commission for the special use, and the final site plan approved by the Township Board. So this is just for me to begin negotiating with them
So
and walk
this
the
is
site with them.
all preliminary and it'll come back to us?
Yes.
For site plan.
With the special land use, right?
The special land use will be approved at the planning commission. Site plan, final site plan will come back to the board. But they'll have to do a lot of research, so hopefully it will go through, but this is going to get things moving.
Where would the driveway be?
There's 2 options, but their number 1 option is off of Hosner. And it comes off just to the north, way to the north of the
School.
yeah, there's a gazebo there, it's farther north up there. But it could come off of Oakwood too. There's a road, there's an avenue, which, you know, I'd like to walk the whole area with Verizon, because if we did get a road off of Oakwood, as you know, the only way we can go in the cemetery is to walk through the old schoolhouse. And we have to park up there. But if you look down below the hill, there's a whole area there that if they did come in off of Oakwood, we would have a clear access for ourselves to the cemetery that's there. There's the older cemetery right at the beginning there. So whichever, I'd like to explore both of them, because I think that it would help us to have an access that we could get to without having to walk through the schoolyard at the corner there.
I prefer Oakwood not only for the cemetery, but also during construction and maintenance. They won't even go up to the school. I mean, the kids won't even see them. They'll just go under that slope.
How far away from the school would the tower be?
Way back in the
We have to do
corner.
preliminaries, but we wanted to do back in here somewhere. But they have to do the
1,000 feet,
preliminaries.
over 1,000 feet?
It's,
No, I don't think it's marked that far.
no,
No.
it's completely into the back corner.
So the lot, you're right, that's only 500 feet, 687, 373 for the school property, so, but the school itself is
Up front.
165 plus, minus, so maybe 300 feet from the corner of the property and maybe 500 feet away. from the actual facilities that they have there.
That would be correct.
Pretty good zone if it's, what, 100 feet? Is that 90 feet? Is that how high the towers are now?
It's gonna be counted.
190.
190, yeah.
190?
Yeah, anything over 205 has to have a red light on it. This is 190. It's the same identical tower that we have now in Watershed Park. And we're negotiating the same kind of contract.
So you're negotiating for a collapsible?
Correct.
Even though their proposal was a monopole?
Collapsible. Anybody have any further questions on that?
Will they be exploring other properties if we don't go forward?
I suspect that they will. My philosophy has always been that everybody in the township should benefit from something that everybody has to look at. And I think that, as you know, we have the one in the park that the park benefits greatly from, and it enables us to purchase canoes and docks and put in pathways and tractors to maintain the pathway without any expense whatsoever to the taxpayer. So I think this is another example of a legacy. As you know, we have a cell tower here at the township that also, as I always say, it's the goose that keeps laying the golden eggs. So every month we get money from those, they're assets, and it's a 25-year contract. And we've had great success with the one at the Watershed Park. So we have a track record here.
Did they give any indication about how many co-locations this tower would be able to have?
No, they haven't said anything about co-locators. And as you know, they don't pay with co-locators anymore.
I just wondered what other services.
Well, I do know that other municipalities have negotiated, and it was that. Then I do know that they got less than what we have gotten at Watershed Park.
Part of our ordinance is gonna almost demand, or part of the ordinance says that you have to have co-locators, so during the special use, that's probably gonna come to play.
And they will be constructing that driveway. It will be at no expense.
This is their, yeah, completely their expense.
Yeah, their letter states that it's their expense.
Well, I would make a motion for our legal to proceed with negotiations on a contract as well as authorization for the supervisor to sign ZBA's special use and site plan applications.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that? Yes.
So that only states that you can authorize going
To go forward and
to go
continue to
forward,
negotiate.
They'll come back to us.
Right, okay.
When you say come back to us, meaning
The site plan approval.
Okay.
And I'm sure we'll have updates.
Yes, I will, as soon as I,
Does that
Can
motion
get-
include the agreement to be signed by Bruce once legal approves it? Or does that part coming back as
Well,
well?
when we say negotiations, I guess I'd like to see the contract. But beginning the process, all that's got to happen simultaneously.
That's fine, I just wanted to make sure that what you expected to come back, so it's gonna be site plan in the contract.
Thank you.
okay, there's no further discussion. Could we have roll call on that, please?
Jill King,
Aye.
Eric Sapp,
Yes,
Linda Garrett,
Yes.
Jacob Newby, Lloyd Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Item number 4 is the resolution adopting the 2017 North Oakland Household Hazardous Waste Consortium Agreement. This is a yearly agreement. Everything is in order. Mr. Davis looked over the contract. Eric has been our representative. I don't know if you want to continue that, or if you would like to ask somebody else to do it or whatever. It's up to you.
I'll continue on that. I think I'll have some free time coming up.
Okay, because if not, Joel, I was looking either at Joel or I was looking at Jacob here.
Yeah, it's not a must. if somebody else wants to take it, that's fine.
In the past years, the meetings that you would have, when would they be? Would they be during a normal workday?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so I'll have to decline.
yeah.
I'll also decline because of that.
He's working too. So what's yours by default?
Hey, wait, that has a familiar ring. That's what happened the last time.
You know, if you brought a cake or something for them, they might have taken that. Okay, then Eric will be a representative. Okay, so unless there's any question, we'd like to move the resolution if anybody has any questions. So-
Also move the resolution for the North Open 217 Household Hazardous Waste Consortium.
I'll second.
That resolution gonna include the $10 fee?
It's the one that's been highlighted, and yes, it does include the $10 fee.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, go we have a roll call on that one, please.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Jacob Newby.
Yes.
Joe King.
Yes.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, resolution is so moved. Move on to item number 5, budget amendments. Heating permits, 101-000-508-000, increase of $8,000, and inspector wages, 101-412-822-000, increase by $8,000. Also electrical permits, 101-000-509-000, increase by $8,000, and inspector wages, 101-382-8200, increased by $8,000. And the reason that is because we're busier than we thought. This is money coming in and money going out for fees coming in and paying the inspectors going out. It's just that we've had more inspections than we anticipated, so.
Why aren't we amending the building permits and the plumbing permits?
We're gonna get into the plumbing soon, but the plumbing and the mechanical are now going to be merged into one. Our auditor said that that would be okay, so that's why we're just gonna increase one of those. And the building permit, I think they're still okay.
The activity at 11,680 and the budget was at 10,000, so if I'm reading it right.
Are you in the?
Oh, I'm in the wrong-
Expenditure or where?
I'm in the wrong one, never mind.
Okay.
I have 8,010, never mind, sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna say, I don't know, a few times.
I mean, this is a good thing because we do have more coming in and more going out, so it's not
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
formality.
It's all an increase, yeah.
Anybody have any comments on that? Motion would be in order then.
Well, I would make a motion for budget amendments for heating permits, 101.00.508.00, increase 8,000, and inspector wages from 101-412-822-000, increased by 8,000. Electrical, do I have to read all these numbers?
And just say ditto.
Okay. Electrical permits, 509,000, increased by 8,000. Inspector wages, 382,822,000, increased by 8,000.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we
I'll
have-
second that.
We have a second. If there's no further discussion, could we have roll call on that, please?
Joe King.
Aye.
Jacob Newby.
Aye.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Eric Sant.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that passes. Okay, we'll move on to item number 6, with appointment by term of office for NODA and Oxford Youth Assistance, Pollyant Trail, Television, the ZBA, and the Planning Commission. On NODA, I have Lori on there. Would you like to stay on there? or-
Sure.
Okay, so we have Lori on for NODA, Oxford Youth. Pauline is on there, and of course she'd like to stay there. And the Pollyant Trail. Eric, you said that you were interested in the Pollyant Trail. I'm on the Pollyant Trail also. Do you have a chainsaw?
Oh, you had that.
Oh, I've got two, don't worry.
I drive the truck, you do the chainsaw.
Okay. So would you be interested in the Pollyant Trail?
Yeah, I think it sounds
Okay.
good.
Lori, you're still on the Oxford Addison television. Are you interested in staying on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the ZBA, I have Eric on there. Are you interested in that, or would you like to give somebody else that one, or are you interested in that one?
I'd like to continue on that. I've been on there a while.
Okay, you'd like to stay on that one?
Yes.
You've been on that one. I would like to ask Linda if she would do the planning commission.
Okay.
That took a long
Well,
time.
take a minute to think about it.
I would be honored. Thank you.
You know, I'd love to have Jacob on something here, but if you can think of something.
We'll plan something later.
Okay, because I'll be down chopping wood this spring, okay, so. And Joel, I know you work during the day, and there's only a couple of these that have the meetings in the evenings. And I know you can't just take time off at 3 o'clock to go to meetings, so I understand that. Okay, so that takes care of all of those. Yeah, we need a motion to accept that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. There's no further discussion. I guess I can just say of all those that are in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that passes. We'll move on to item number 7. Approval of the board meeting fiscal year for this next year coming up. The 6 o'clock one, I know there's no perfect time for any meeting, but it seems that at 6 o'clock, a lot of people get off work at 5. We get right here at 6, we get the work done, and we all go home. Before, we used to get off work, go home, sit around for a while, and then come back, and then go back home. So I'm proposing, I think it's a good idea to have it at the 6 o'clock for another year and see if we still like it or not. Does anybody have any discussion on that? Anybody have a motion on
I'll make a
that?
motion to accept the Addison Township Board meeting as presented for the third Monday at 6 p.m.
I'll support.
We have a 6, and we have a motion and support. On this, I think, I'll ask, is everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that's passed also. Now we'll move on to item number 8. This is just the presenting of the budget, okay? We're not gonna talk about the budget today, I'm just presenting the budget. I'll let you all look at it and take your time and look at it in the next few weeks, and then we'll start discussing it. I'll just let you know that the township's revenue, and I know Lori probably tell you a little more about this. Some of the revenue is down. Of course, if you look on there, there's $300,000 that was during the construction of the new building, so we don't have that, okay? Revenue sharing is down by, you projected 15,000, is that correct?
And that comes off of the state's website, so we kind of knew mid-year that we weren't hitting what the state had projected the previous year. But we've been doing very well, so it's not a concern at this time.
Okay. If we do get the new proposed cell tower, of course, that will help to offset some of this to the tune of somewhere close to $20,000 a year. The expenditures are up. Most of the increase is in the 101, 103 account. The cable is down by about 4,000. You projected that to be down. Office computers. We're definitely in dire need of new equipment. Our server, I know Lori told me a long time ago that the server was at the turn of the century, and I don't know, we had somebody come and look at it and they were amazed that we were still operating. So we're gonna have to spend some money to get the computers up to date so they can all talk to each other. And so if you notice there, we've put a lot of money into the computers for equipment. And then we'll get some specifications on that shortly, and then hopefully we can get things updated and improve the service. We also put a lot of money onto making sure that we have enough money for the Social Security, unemployment, and retirement. We put everybody at the full meetings. We don't normally have full meetings. As you know, I've projected many budgets, and we haven't ever we've never gone over our budget. And right now, as of today, we're only 40% of this budget, and we have virtually 3 months left. Our budget ends March 31st. So we're in very good shape for this year. We always put in extra so that we're not coming up short later, but we don't spend it. We do anticipate a refund. I did talk to Mr. Davis from the tribunal from Enbridge. They have a tribunal case. I don't know what it's going to be or if it is going to be. You projected it might be $20,000, $22,000, but I did talk to Mr. Davis, and he says at this time nothing has come about on that. So I don't want to give a price or whatever. Let me see here. I am proposing 2.5% increase for wages. I know a lot of the other communities and a lot of the other units have given much larger raises. I can't do that. I try to manage our budget so that it's in line, and I think we owe it to the taxpayers to make sure that we're in line with what we bring in. We have been giving 2% raises. As you know, many years our employees did without any raises, and they're loyal to us, so I think that we should always take care of them when we can, and so I think that 2.5% is more than reasonable for both sides. Our healthcare numbers aren't really in yet, so we don't know what that's going to be. They'll be in sometime in January. Let me see, we do have some increase in voting tabulators for the township for the elections, but other than that, we don't have any elections coming up. Our carryover is up from $69,000 in our current fiscal year to 156, which is 86,000 higher than last year, and the majority of this is from the 101, 103 departments for expenditures. But like I said, we've never spent it. I just like to be on the safe side. Let me see. So the time, first of all, just to break it down, what we're going to do is I'm going to have some meetings coming up here next month, and then we'll have a public hearing scheduled in February to adopt the budget by March. So I just wanted to break that out to everybody so you could see where we are, and you can see why there's some increases here. But like I said, we always like to be on the safe side so we don't have to amend the budget, and we've never spent it in the 8 years that I've been here. And this board has been completely responsible. So I think in the next 4 years, we'll probably continue that same process.
I like that we just amended the budget because we had too much money coming in.
Well, I watch every penny in this, and Lori, our treasurer, I'm sure that she'll pull the rug out from underneath me if I do spend too much. So I think we have a good safety net here. Other than that, there's nothing except that I'm presenting it. We'll move on to the next one, which is public forum. Does anybody in the public have anything at public forum? Yes.
Good evening. I'm Jackie Hodges, and I am pastor at Lakeville United Methodist Church. I'd like to make a couple of presentations, one to the fire department, and I'll ask Gene and Chief to come up.
All right.
In the United Methodist tradition, at the end of the fiscal year, which our fiscal year is December 31st, we have to empty our coffers. we have money, we're supposed to take ourselves basically down to zero. And we are to give that money to ministries, and we are allowed to give 10% of those funds to different activities within the community. So we have 2 community activities that we have designated in the Lakeville area. The first one is the fire department. So being on the board, Mr. Jean gets to present a check in the amount of $14,700 to the Lakeville Fire Department. Addison Township Fire Department. After talking to Chief, they just broke their jaws of life.
Very
And this will
good.
cover the cost of the new jaws of life.
With that much money, we could start a Lakeville Fire Department.
You wanna get hurt?
I already got the best part in it anyway. So you're all set.
Thank you very much. That's very generous of you. That's
Oh,
extremely
you're
generous.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome.
And you know, Jerry just told me something yesterday. I don't know if you knew it, but Bob DeRocher passed away.
Yes.
And this guy sitting in the funeral home told me I was the oldest living firefighter around right now.
And Leonard resident.
And Leonard resident. Can you believe that?
I believe
But congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll use this, and thanks to all the citizens that had this money for the church, and we're able to use it in our community. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much.
Our second presentation, Marlene.
Yes.
Our second presentation is for the Lakeville Cemetery Auxiliary. And you know, on Sunday morning sometimes, we always ask for joys and concerns from the congregation. And so, Jean, was it our aunt? Was it our cousin? No, it was our nephew. Jean, was it? So what you see is what I saw every Sunday. I love them for it. At this time, we would like to present a gift to the Lakeville Auxiliary for $7,200.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's a lot.
That pays for our women.
Thank you very much.
You know what? Gene's the treasurer, and I have to give this check back to him.
Give him.
Again, thank you very much. That will go a long ways.
Treasurer that used to say to me at least every couple months, "My gosh, Marlene, are you ready to everybody?" This was my answer. Addison Township is only 6 square miles. All they had was horses. You figure it out. And yes, I am related about half of you. It's okay.
So, Marlene, when Abraham Lincoln came through, were you able to see him?
No, I didn't hear you.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did.
Tell her, Bruce. Tell her again, she can't hear too good.
I said, when Abraham Lincoln came through here on horseback, were you able to see him?
Yes.
Actually, he rode in on the train.
You're right.
Jean has asked me to share with you where we have given some of our other monies. As I said before, we have to give 90% of our monies to charities and to missions and ministries. And so we have purchased a dog for veterans. We have also, the substantial amount of our money goes to the United Methodist Committee on Relief, which 100% of the money we give to that particular committee goes straight into the field. So we will be caring for those people who have suffered from the floods in Tennessee and the fires. And then we also are giving money to our campgrounds and in Fort Gratiot. We are in a district that includes Fort Gratiot, so we will be giving $10,000 to our free store and free store ministries in Fort Gratiot. So we've had fun spending money.
Well, thank you very
Thank you for
much.
your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on public forum?
Hi, yes.
Well, how much money are you giving us, Jama?
Hi,
My name is Java Berman, and I'm here to represent the Addison Township Public Library. I'm the library director there, and I'm here with James Baldiga, who's president of our library board. And I'm here because of a conversation that I had with Lori Fisher last week, where she informed me that Enbridge paid the township $50 million in taxes, and now they're contesting that amount, which is my understanding, and they want a payback of $10 million. And we will be asked to refund some of our millage money. Now, the millage money that we don't know the amount at this time, but we want to know some of the background and have some understanding that we can take back to the library board and to our community, because this will diminish our millage funding for the millage funding for 2015 and 2016. We'd like some documentation as well that will explain the situation so we can communicate back to our community as well. We'd like to start this conversation now and continue it as we get more information and know more about the tax tribunal that is coming up during the summer months.
Okay, well, I can't discuss it at this time, but if you come into my office, as soon as Mr. Davis, tomorrow I have an appointment at 11 o'clock to talk about this with him. And I should know a lot more after 11 o'clock tomorrow. So this is a typical tribunal. We've had several of them this year. This is nothing new, but Enbridge does have an issue that they want to present. Whether or not it's successful or not, that we are to see, okay? So at this time, Mr. Davis said nothing has been decided and nothing has been negotiated, and he did say that we have some things coming up shortly. So I can tell you that much.
I just want to say the numbers, don't confuse the numbers that we kind of discussed is in tax dollars. We were talking value, which is a huge difference.
Oh, all right. All right. No, I didn't.
I would love if somebody paid us $50 million.
Oh, I don't want to misconstrue it, so. All right. So did you want, am I invited to that meeting tomorrow, or?
Well, no, I will tell you after I meet.
Okay.
I have an attorney-client privilege that I've got to talk. And then I will, if you come and see me after tomorrow, then I can tell you what's progressing, okay? It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight.
Okay. Is that tax tribunal, is it going to be at the Oakland County Assessor?
I'm sure it will be.
Okay.
I think they've gone to the state on this one, but probably Mr. Davis will inform me where it's going to be held at. And there's opportunities before we even get to that point, okay, that Mr. Davis explained to me, so we will see what happens.
Well, that's good, there's an opportunity to contest it or see different outcomes.
Well, we're going to contest it, but there's opportunities available to us before it even gets there, so we'll see what happens, okay? But I don't want to say any more.
Very good, I appreciate.
Is it safe to say this is not unique to Addison Township?
Oh, it's everywhere, okay. We've had the golf course gone to tribunal, Cooper Standard, I think, has gone to tribunal. A lot of the big taxpayers have gone to the tribunal, so this is nothing new. And Mr. Davis is very familiar on how to handle it.
Enbridge started this at the state level for every community, so.
I just, and if I can speak for my chair here, when they came through in 2015 and 16, they were spending money with a fire hose to get compliance. Even on my block, they came by with a checkbook. We're going to drive our trucks by. How much do you want? Well, it was ridiculous. And it seemed like that is a method to get what they want when they wanted it.
Well, it's a little bit.
It may be different.
It's a little bit deeper than that. What they're contesting is the amount of infrastructure, and that has to be determined. Okay, there's two different decisions on this. It's the infrastructure. It's not that they came through and tried to, give us a price or guarantee us a price, and then it has to do with the assessing.
I see.
Okay,
So
so
of the pipes underground and.
it's how much money that they put into this community, how much, not, it's in the infrastructure, the actual cost of the piping and everything.
And assessing works a year ahead essentially, so all the numbers come off of projections. So that doesn't necessarily, a projection is not what really happened necessarily.
But, and every community has the same problem. We just have a bigger one because ours happens to be a larger amount.
So communities like Oxford, who also has pipe laid in Franklin Township, did they experience something similar to this?
Well, at this time, we're the only one they're contesting because ours is a higher amount.
Okay,
I believe Oxford already went to tribunal.
they did.
I believe so.
Yeah, but ours is the higher amount, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
That's all I can say, though, okay? You have to give me time on
Thank you
this
very
one.
much.
Okay, anybody else on public hearing? Yes?
Terry Stiles, OCTV. I'm asking, while you're considering your budget in the next month or so, if you would consider fully funding our franchise fees. As most of you may know, AT&T is going to DirecTV, which means we will lose the franchise fees from that. In the last 3 years, because of our programming and what we've done at OCTV, our viewership has increased by 301% in 3 years, based on YouTube numbers. That's the only way we can get numbers. Cable won't get them to us. But I just want you, and I'm only here to ask you to consider fully funding maybe this year, if not this year, maybe next year.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, then we'll go on to Addison Township Board reports. Anybody on the board have any reports? None? Legal reports, don't have any. Communications? Okay, now we'll go on to the last 3 hours of this meeting. The supervisor's report, okay? I would like everybody to know that Mike Boisvert, our long-term building official, has decided that it's time to retire. And he's given me his letter of resignation. He's been a terrific building official. I asked him to stay on until January 9th. I will be out of town and I will come back that day, and I'd like to be here on his last day. So I am going to post in-house to see if anybody else qualifies who would like it. If we don't have anybody in-house, then I will post it out for outside employment. Marie May, as you know, we have a senior. I did hire Marie May. I went through the interviews. She is just a terrific, she has energy for the seniors. She has all kinds of great ideas. I also interviewed Linda Noaker, another terrific candidate. She had all kinds of great ideas also. Linda could only work a few of the days. She couldn't work all of the days that were in the specification, which is Monday through Friday for 3 hours a day. Marie can meet those. I did talk with Linda, and I said I'd like to keep her resume on file because at a later time, if this really takes off, I would love to have her be part of the program also. But Marie May was able to meet all the specifications, and I think she'll be a great asset in the senior department. So she's already started to get ideas together and try to get our seniors to participate here at the community room. And I think that, I hope this will be a really good thing in the future, that we get everybody to enjoy this, and hoping that the seniors can make the hot chocolate for the kids going down the sledding hill or whatever. And if anybody's interested, Marlene. So, when you're not watching your windmill, okay. But other than that, the only other thing I have to say is Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy Holidays. I hope everybody has a great holiday this season. And our next meeting will be January 9th, 2017. That's next year. Okay, just so you put that in your books there. Other than that, the fire department will be giving free rides home, right, on New Year's Eve? That's correct? No way. Oh, we'll be giving the fire department free rides home, I forgot.
Call me if you need a ride.
But other than that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Support?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. All right.